We are with the leopard, everybody. Good morning to you. I hope that you're having a good morning. He's probably heading up onto this termite mound. We're with Tingana the male leopard. My name is James Henry. It's lovely to have you with us on this chilly but beautiful morning. And here is our first sighting of the day, male leopard. Our hashtag Safari Live is how you can talk to us. And it is apparently 61 degrees Fahrenheit out here today. And that is the gorgeous Tingana. How marvellous. Isn't he wonderful? He's still so big and fat, just like the last time we saw him, Seb.
Yes.
Seb is on camera today. And he is just depositing a popcorn flavoured scent. Now, I will just warn you that there are quite a few people hoping to see him today, so we probably won't be able to spend all day with him, but we'll spend as long as we can. He's also going to cross into some pretty thick bush. What a joy it's beginning to our safari. Hold on everyone, there's going to be some nasty off-roading here. Oh dear. He's going to go into this thick bush. I'm just going to head across here to get around this thicket. Hold on tight everyone. I'm sorry about the racing about, but this is what happens if you want to spend time with big male leopards on the prowl. This is the kind of bush they like, thick stuff. If you are a new viewer, Tingana is about, I've almost forgotten his age. He must be nearly 10 by now. He was 9 last year, which means he must be 10 this year, some stage. He's coming down this path, I hope. You see him there? You just turn off and listen. There's Texan. You just quickly ask him if you still got him. Tex, have you still got him there? Have you still got him there? I think he's further this way, Seb, along this path. He's going to pop out somewhere here. And I think he will cross the drainage line. That is the river of the Great Mulwati, somewhere around here. Oh, please let us not have that as the only view of him today. You can't see him, can you? Oh dear, this car will not go into reverse. That's a disaster. I've got him there. Holly, I will get back to you. Sorry, the Game Drive radio is just going crazy because everyone wants to come and see him. Okay, try now, Kirst. He was here. There he is. I'm afraid I missed that too. Is he looking for a what spot? A sleeping spot. Yeah. Yes, he will eventually sleep as soon as it starts to get warm. But there he is. Alright, we've relocated him, everybody. He's now mobile. Still north, but it looks like he's going to go into the drainage. I think stand by in the drainage there. Ah, wonderful stuff. Don't go in there, Tingana. He's on the game path now, parallel with the Mulwati. Sorry everybody, I know that this is deeply irritating. But the game drive radio, there's 4 or 5 people trying to get into the sighting, and so everyone's talking at once. I'll just turn it down a bit, now I can hear your questions properly. You can hear the birds' alarm calling. I think he's going down now, yeah. No stations, he's now heading into the Morati. It's amazing how quickly they can disappear. He walked into that thicket and he was gone. I just happened to look behind me at the right time and there he was. Leopard tracking is hugely based on luck. Yeah, now he's going to disappear into the drainage here and we're not going to be able to see him unless we go around to the other side. I seriously doubt, there he is. I seriously doubt we're going to be able to, well, maybe we'll be able to follow him through here. You got in there, Seb? There he is. Okay. Alright, I've now stalled the vehicle. You know what, I can't do this with gloves on. Alrighty, here we go. Oh. Right, there he is, I can see him. Alright everybody, let me try and get through this mess. Let's go across to Tristan. He's got a lovely, much more calming view of the sun. You know what? We just drove past this area here, and there was a squirrel alarm calling. We stopped, Seb turned round, and there's a leopard in the grass here. We drove past him by, I mean, we can't be more than 2 meters from him. Can you see him? He seems to be very shy. He just popped his head up, or she popped her head up. I don't know who this is. Seb, let me just try and gain some height by going up onto the bank here. There we go. How many leopards have we driven past?
Spotted.
Oh, this looks like a shy animal. It lifted its head up and then put it straight down again on its own. I'm going to take a flyer here and look at the size of the ears and say this might be young Tumba. And Kirsten reckons it's Hosanna. It could be. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know why he would be shy. You know what? He might not be shy at all. It might just be that he's put his head down to go back to sleep.
I think he's pissed off because that squirrel is shouting at him.
He's very irritated that the squirrel is shouting at him. He does have, you know what? He's got a nick in his ear there, which I think Hosanna does have, but I thought it was in Hosanna's right ear. There we go, getting a little bit more confident. It's too big for Tumba. It's too big for Tumba, I think.
He's got a notch on his
He does have that notch, hey?
Who's got that notch?
Well, Hosanna's got a notch in one of his ears, but this one's got a notch in both ears.
Both ears, yes.
So it's definitely not Tumba. Max Smith reckons this is Hosanna. How very, very lucky we were. Thank you, Mr. Squirrel. Now, I'll just tell you that when we stopped at the squirrel, Seb said he's looking behind us. I said, I think he's looking straight down. And I looked at him with my binoculars and realized that I couldn't tell where he was looking, other than sort of a field of 180 degrees or so in front of him.
If you're going to show them the squirrel, okay.
Okay, and Seb's just going to show you where the squirrel is. And as I was about... Ladybug daisies, you reckon this is Vutomi?
Sorry everyone, I can't. It's,
you can't see the squirrel.
No.
Ladybug daisies, it is almost certainly not Vutomi. This is a very long way away from where Vutomi lives. We're at Treehouse Dam. I don't even know. My initial instinct when I saw it was the young male because it just popped its head up, but I'm not convinced of that. It just doesn't, it looks shy, you know, they don't. Unless it's just one of our extremely habituated leopards that really just doesn't give a continental about vehicles. And the only reason we saw it, of course, because it stuck its head up, as Seb was looking behind.
Yeah, very lucky. Otherwise I wouldn't have seen him. I mean, we drove past him.
And drove past him, what, 2 meters away? Oh, very exciting. Well, I tell you what we'll do. We'll just... No, will we? We'll sit here a little bit longer, just see if the head doesn't pop up. Otherwise, we'll try and go around the other angle and get a slightly better look. But I just wonder if this position of ours actually above him is not going to be the best option. Now, the other thing to note about that squirrel is that it has exceptional eyesight. And they see a long way, and so you can find a squirrel alarm calling and still find nothing. And of course, as soon as you then get out of the car to look around, it becomes very difficult, because if you get out of a car and start tracking around where a squirrel is, what happens is it starts looking at you. Sandy, you're on Team McLennan Smith, and you say that this is Hosanna. I didn't think that Hosanna had nicks in both of his ears. I knew he had one in one of them. But it's certainly not impossible. You've got the squirrel.
I just did a few things and now I should be able to.
We're just going to show you the squirrel quickly.
There he is.
And you can just see his tail. And he's not getting the slightest bit bored shouting at this leopard, warning everyone that he is around. But I wonder if we shouldn't just reverse back a little bit. The leopard's head is now down, fast asleep. Yeah, this is not a shy leopard, it's just a leopard that is so habituated it doesn't care. Heads up. James Richard, I'm not sure it's not Tundi. It could easily be Tundi. There, we've got a face. Well, sort of. Yeah, no. You got it. This is very, very cryptic, isn't it? Well, I'm afraid there are some who could identify the leopard by its spots from here, but I'm not one of those people. James Richard, I think the ears are certainly moth-eaten enough for it to be Tundi. Not sure where a little boy would be if this was her. Tundi is a 3-3 leopardess, so we'd see 3 spots left and right. She's very relaxed now, or he was very relaxed, so let's just move slightly around and see if we can't get a view through the shorter grass. Do it very slowly. step. I'm going to ask you to swing round to the other side now. Going this way. Nice and slow movements because we are very close now. There we go. That's a young male. That's not a female. That's not a very young male either.
He's big, that guy.
That's Tingana.
Yes. You know what? When we were talking about the chasing dogs, I was like, didn't look at Tingana.
That's Tingana. Well, hello. Right, we'll call that in. That is wonderful. And Taxon or Lex come in. Taxon, I found your friend Tingana. He's at Treehouse Dam. No, he's very flat in some very long grass. Oh, he's moving. Yeah, he's just got up now, Tax. He's moving towards the water. I cannot believe that this leopard's come over here. People checked and checked and checked again, the Mulwati, to see whether he'd crossed or not. And clearly he had, and somehow we missed him. And this is not, I mean, these are highly skilled people who were checking. I didn't for 1 second. Well, maybe I did, I don't know. But I really thought it was highly unlikely that we were going to find Tingana here. How very nice. And Lady Starfire, you're looking at Tingana and wondering about the dewlap flap that goes from under his chin all the way onto the skin of his chest, and whether that is a function purely of Tingana or if it is a function of all male leopards. I think he's probably unusually sort of elongated, but I think you'll find it does happen on many male leopards. Now, I must just reiterate, we've been giving a lot of figures about weights on masses of leopard. And I've been redoing my research on this, you know, on actual leopards that have been weighed. So not people that have estimated or guessed about leopards and that sort of thing. And I reckon that this chap is about 75 kilograms or so. That is about 160 pounds. Oh, he's going to go down perhaps and have a drink. So, although he is a good-sized male leopard, maybe slightly bigger than average, he's not the most monstrous one I've ever seen, but he's I also don't think the most, you know, we keep talking about 90, maybe up to 100 kilograms for a big male leopard. That would be outlandishly huge. You say, do cats, Chris, you want to know if cats ever get irritated with vehicles following them? Yes, they do from time to time, but they will give us a sign. For example, Tundi and Shadow both will hiss at the vehicles if they get irritated. I've seen Shongile doing the same thing. He is not in the slightest bit irritated. I think he's going to go and find some shade and lurk there. Whoops, a daisy, there's quite a few holes in this area. just goes to show you cannot start shouting about identifying leopards until you've seen the whole face. Beautiful. Okay, we'll see where he goes. There's a nice big jackalberry tree that he sometimes goes and rests in up here. While we do that, Tristan has got a member of the Hemiptera to show you. Yes, we're not far from where you last left us, actually. He's just moved into the shade here, and he's now eating some grass. He's obviously finding that very substantial belly of his a little bit much to deal with, and so he's got himself onto a diet. And I suspect that he will spend much of the day around here somewhere. Although he has been patrolling a huge amount of late. I don't feel too bad about getting him his identification wrong, as none of you who know these leopards just as well got it right either. Ha 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 ha. Sorry, little one, I was yakking away there and I missed part of your question. Oh, that's a nice shot there. Oh, you say, what's its easiest to catch prey? Well, I guess for a leopard like this, its easiest to catch prey would be a tortoise, which of course is not very fast. Not very good to eat, though. Rather tough on the teeth, not much meat for the effort. And I suppose, secondly, it would be something like a monitor lizard. They're pretty easy to catch for a leopard, but again, not a huge amount to eat. I think the easiest and most satisfying meal would probably be a duiker or a steenbok. Small antelope, living alone, so they don't have the advantage of the vigilance that a bigger antelope like an impala has, because it lives in a herd. But of course they're quite evenly distributed, and in long grass like this, quite difficult to find. So in winter I think you'll find that duiker and steenbok take a horrible hammering from these leopards. Probably, I suspect also, much like we've watched with the wild dogs of late, I suspect you'll find that they eat a lot of scrub hares without us even noticing it. You know, scrub hares tend to, they'll just walk out onto the road at night, and we've watched Hosana just about eat one. It walked within, sort of a metre of his face before he, and then it turned around and walked away again. So I'm pretty sure that they can catch scrub hares almost at will. The best meal, though, for a male leopard like this is almost certainly an impala. Impala is good. It's a good size for a leopard to eat. And there will be lots of meat, and there's not a huge amount of risk attached in catching it. Let's try and move around a bit. It's getting quite warm now, so I think he's going to stay in the shade. He should go relatively still fairly soon. Yeah, he's lying down there. Oh, sorry, Spider. We're going to see about as much of him as we did when we first spotted him there. Which wasn't very much. Let's just get into a position here. We might even be able to park ourselves in the shade. There we go. Is that right?
Yes. Ah, yes, time for a bath. Gentlemen have
His Eminence must maintain his outfit. You know, we couldn't have him walking around here in a tatty jacket. It's amazing how what looks like a sort of brutally powerful animal becomes a pussycat when you see him starting to clean himself. Ali, as you can see, the leopard looked up as he heard your question, and clearly the answer is no. You could see that from the look he gave you. It was what only can be described as a dirty look. Ali, leopards don't hide out in trees, no. They do sometimes rest in trees. Normally they'll be in trees if they've got meat in trees. So if they've got a kill nearby or in the tree, then they will rest in the trees. But they will very seldom, or not very seldom, but they spend more time on the ground than they do in trees, and because resting in a tree is not necessarily comfortable for a leopard. And so, yes, if there's a very wide branch that's easy to sleep on, sometimes leopards will rest in trees, but it's more comfortable for him to rest there where he is on the ground, in amongst the shade and the soft green grass, than it is for him to have a spiky bark sticking into bits and pieces of his sensitive undercarriage. So yes, they will sleep in trees if they feel threatened, but normally they will be on the ground. Roshni, you say has Tingana always been shy? I don't think he's shy now at all. I think he's very confiding. Perhaps you're asking because his name means shy. Tingana apparently means shy. And Roshni, I think he probably was when he started out here. But, you know, he's just habituated to the vehicles. He's got so very familiar with them. And he's not in the slightest bit shy now. I think he was almost probably slightly disappointed to be spotted earlier on. He looked kind of, if not alarmed, but kind of, oh, you know, Seb spotted him. He sort of looked distressed that he had managed to, or not managed to remain hidden. But he's not shy. He goes around his business completely oblivious to us these days. Gosh, it's getting quite warm out here, isn't it, Seb?
Yeah.
Yes. Leo, you're going to get yourself in trouble here with the Twitterverse. You say, is it normal for male leopards to be cannibals, or was just this one that's a cannibal? As I've said that now, you will find people, a great wailing and gnashing of teeth going up around our viewership. And I'll just explain where Leo's question comes from. Tingana killed and ate a leopardess called Shiluva the other day. About, what was it, probably about 4 months ago, I guess. And the explanation for why he did that is very difficult to come by. But your question is he the only cannibalistic leopard around? No, he's not. It often happens that males will kill cubs that are not their own and eat them. I've not heard of it happening where a female is killed and eaten by a male. Or not in my immediate vicinity. I've certainly heard of it happening before. So you will find that there are many male leopards that tend to cannibalism from time to time. I remember the sense of disbelief that ensued after the incident was reported. Nobody believed it could be Tingana. He wouldn't do such a dastardly thing until photographic evidence emerged of the crime being committed. And then, you know, people just had to come to terms with the fact that Tingana is an entirely normal male leopard. Now, there are two other interesting things I want to show you while that cat is fast asleep. Would you mind coming over this way, Seb? On the edge of the light here is
On the edge of the light?
this light.
Yeah.
Is this insect that